So what's going on, guys? Apparently, Shawn of PlayStation has the same fucking problem as Uncle Phil. So we're gonna refer to Shawn now as Stepdaddy Shawn. Because apparently this guy is so needed to be liked that he's just gonna go out of his way to say whatever the fuck he wants. Apparently, he opened his mouth up to talk about PlayStation 5, um, which would sound great if it was right around the corner. But he went on to again talk about this thing that is nowhere near around the corner. This is why he and Phil must have the same fucking problem. Stepdaddy Shawn and Uncle Phil have the same fucking brain problem. Okay, and I know you're thinking, what are you talking about? Uncle Phil faces the problems of PlayStation 3. Fucking Stepdaddy Shawn has the need for you to love him. Please love us. Please. Please fucking love our product. Please just, we'll do whatever it takes to love us. Just fucking love us. Okay, and I know that sounds drastic, but I want you to think for 2 seconds. PlayStation 4 is also making some very big mistakes by letting this idiot go out and fucking talk about a product that isn't anywhere near gonna happen anytime soon. Now, the reason B is because they need to focus on the PS4 Pro. And letting this moron talk about the PS5 is only going to hurt that. Because you're going to have these idiots out here who start asking the question when. And that's all they're going to ask is when. When are we going to see it? When is it going to be in development? When can we expect it? That's all they're going to fucking ask. And they're going to start pressuring him more. Especially now that he's acknowledged these fucking morons. And they're not going to pay any attention to the Pro. They're not going to pay any attention to the PS4. That's all they're going to pay attention to is 5. Because these idiots are the same ones who've been pressuring this idiot for the 5. And little to them do they even know how numbers work. They just want the next thing. These idiots don't give a damn about Sony. And you guys think I'm bad when I talk about Sony. These idiots want Sony to go out of business tomorrow. Because they don't understand numbers. If they did, they would want the 4 to actually go on as long as it can to make up all the money that it can for all the fucking problems the 3 caused. That's not what's going on here. They want the 5 to come out, which means the 4 makes no money to make up for the fucking problems that the 3 had. Which means, does it make up for the fact that Sony was hemorrhaging money? No. Does it mean that the 4 actually gets a return profit and actually sees money coming in positively? No. Because it doesn't have a lifespan long enough to see it. Because right now, as it stands right now, the PS4 still is below. It's still, here's PS3 numbers, here's PS4. Still not even equal. Still not even equal. Think about that. If the PS5 comes out, it will have undersold the generation where Sony left out hemorrhaging money. And what company would want that? Sure, the PS4 sold on a profit, but the profit isn't the PS4 made $300 for every one that they made. That's not how that works. It made a profit of somewhere between $15 to $50. You cannot be this fucking stupid. Not anybody out there can be this fucking stupid. I'm sorry, it's just not possible. Not even the pro is seeing that much of a return. I swear I've covered this before. I've covered this quite a few times. If the 5 comes out, Sony will still need Sony dollars because they're still not financially in a good place. This is why they still charge for everything. They're still not going to have their shit together. You don't want the PS5, so quit asking. I'm so sick and tired of seeing YouTube videos. We want a PS5. No, you don't. You want the PS4 to go on as long as it can. What you really want is you want Stepdaddy Shawn to knock the PS4 off of shelves. That's what you want. You want Stepdaddy Shawn to get his shit together. You want him to go ahead and take all the new PS4s, that little slim model, you want him to take those off the market. There is enough in rotation from 2013 to the slim models in rotation that you can get a used one at GameStop, even if he takes all those fucking new ones off the market and just leaves the Pro. Okay? Just do it that way. That way, it forces people to buy a Pro. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about the whole leaving behind thing? No, you don't have to leave anyone behind, even if all that's on the market is a Pro. If the games are still being made, that's up to the software people. That's up to the game developers. If the game developers make these games still using the 2013 model, but they decide that they're going to develop them on the Pro, but they still have the ability to, just it's a flip of a switch thing, then technically nobody's being left behind here. But Sony is saying we're only going to have one model available if you want to buy new. And that's the smartest idea right there. Excuse me. That's the smartest way to go about it. But I know with the way they're thinking, they're like, well, we don't want to piss nobody off. We don't want to offend nobody. Because that's the way these companies think, that it's going to offend somebody. It's not going to offend nobody. It might offend that one person who nobody gives a fuck about, but listen to me, Stepdaddy Shawn. You need to quit being this pantering, stupid son of a bitch who, runs and yammers away and whispers shit to, panter to a certain crowd of people. And when you talk, you say the wrong fucking things. I know people don't like hearing me say this because it kind of hits a chord in you. I'm wearing a Nintendo shirt. There's a reason. Nintendo is a gaming company. Sony's not. I've said this before. Sony financially would be my pick to go under. Financially. Making a PlayStation 5 is probably a really fucking piss poor decision. You need to support the VR headset. Fuck PlayStation 5. Support the VR headset. You're gonna financially fuck yourself to where even if you launch a PS5, you'll have about a year before you're like, we're done. Because you have no Sony dollars with any kind of weight to them. Because you fucked yourself. Sure, the PS4 Pro came out and the reports were Sony has a month where they're not hemorrhaging money. But let me tell you something. The report didn't read that Sony was no longer hemorrhaging money. It just said they have a month where they're not hemorrhaging money. Meaning the Sony PlayStation was finally, finally was not a word there. The PlayStation was finally, turning a profit for the first time. It doesn't mean they had finally, made up a whole lot of fucking money after being broke for so long. Are you that dense to think that's how that works? That's not how that works. They'd been losing money for years. 1 month of the PS4 is not going to make up for that. 60 million units sold isn't going to make up for that, especially when your bottom line of return is about $50 a unit. That's not gonna do it. And your profit loss on each PS3 sold is $300 fucking dollars. You've got to be smarter than that. Seriously, you've got to be smarter than that. Come on, that's basic math. One PS4 at approximately $50 tops versus 300 per one fucking PS3. One PS4 makes up not even a quarter. I think quarter, not even a quarter of one PS3 sold. Okay? It might be like, I think, maybe a little higher than a quarter. But it's still a lot of fuck. You gotta sell like 6 of them bitches to make up for one profit loss of one fucking PS3. Okay, so years of that. Years of that. And again, I'm not making shit on the PS4 60 million, but look at how many PS3 sold. It's in the 80 millions. And they just now 60. That's 20 million that they've got to make. Maybe after they sell about 100, which could still be a couple years away. Could be a couple years away. Couple years away. I'm not saying more or less. Could be more, could be less. Don't quote me on that. But even still, people are like, it could sell or come close to matching PS2. That's a pipe dream. But I mean, it possibly could sell 100. But even if you gave it a couple more years. But if you get a PS5 within the next 2, you're gonna literally strangle this company to death. Okay? Especially with PSVR on the market. You're not letting this company do anything. And Stepdaddy Shawn he's definitely not letting this fucking company do anything by promising you idiots a new fucking console because he's scared of what a fucking console's gonna do that has nothing to offer anybody. I'm so sick and tired of you, Shawn. You jump the gun every time somebody blinks an eye. Every time. Oh my god, Nintendo's coming out with the Wii U. What do we do? Nothing. Because you guys have always been the better choice. Every time Nintendo's doing something, you guys get scared and shaking your Sony booties. Now that Xbox is doing something, you're scared again, and you're shaking in your fucking Sony booties. Excuse me, you're shaking in your Sony booties. But Xbox doesn't offer anything. It's like every time somebody does something Sony, you get scared. Are you a child? Half of me says yes. The other half of me says you're not a child, you're a fucking toddler, and you're just terrified of your own shadow. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When Nintendo decides they want their crown back, when they decide it, whoever falls in third is gone. Sony, get your shit together. Because you could possibly be it. I would much rather see it be Xbox because at least they got computers to fall back on. And Xbox could just be a brand name that we fall back into instead of Windows 10 gaming. That just sounds retarded. And it could just be Xbox games on a Windows computer. And it just be the Xbox brand on PC. Sony, you have nothing. You have nothing to fall back on. So, get your shit together. You have VR to fall back on right now, and you need to support that. You have PlayStation 4 Pro, which you need to be promoting, and if you take the Slim off the market, there are way more than enough fucking regular 2013 models in rotation at GameStop you can buy pre-owned. And I know you don't want to, I know you don't like that market, but trust me, if you make Pro the fucking go-to new fucking console and you push that, the Xbox One X or Scorpio, or whatever you want to fucking call that thing, is not a threat. exclusive content lives on two devices, you and Switch. Xbox does not have it, okay? They have Xbox One and PC, meaning it's available on PC. You and Nintendo is where exclusive content live. Xbox is not a threat, okay? So again, take the Slim off the market, make it Pro only, and you can still make it to where, hey, even if you don't have a Pro, we still have games that you can play on whatever model you have. Even though we don't offer that model on the shelves anymore, you can still play the games. You just have to be smart about it. Just use your fucking head meat. I'm sick and tired of these companies playing this. We're pandering to everybody because we're not smart enough to realize that we sold 60 million fucking pieces of hardware, but we're not smart enough to use GameStop to our advantage or Best Buy that sells these things used. And then they have dumbasses like Uncle Phil and Stepdaddy fucking Shawn out there running their fucking dick sucker, making things worse for their own fucking company. And you could say, oh, that's a really fucking weird stretch to put on it, but is it? When you have, go check out other channels out there. I'm telling you, go look at other channels when all they've been talking about since before E3, PS5, the next Xbox. And I'm not talking about Scorpio. That's all they're talking about. And then all of a sudden, these fucking Stepdaddy Shawn and Uncle Phil, they breathe words about the next generation. And now all they're focused on is, when is that coming out? When is that coming out? It's not that far of a stretch. So, you got a lot of intel right here. A lot to take in. And I know what you're thinking. The thing about PlayStation taking the Slim off the market, that's not a bad idea. Because, again, it's up to the software people. If the people making the games make the games on the Pro and make them Pro compatible, but Sony's like, hey, we need these games to work on the fucking 2013 model as well, and, you know, the Switches remain to be, you know, Pro compatible for everything coming out, but I can still plug it in the one I have. Sony's automatically going to be the better fucking brand to go with. They just got to realize they need to make Pro their main fucking system on the market when you buy new. That's what they need to do. And they'll dominate. They'll still dominate. But they need to keep Shawn. They need to keep that motherfucker's lips sealed. They need to keep him off the fucking showroom floor. They need to keep him off of the fucking news waves. They need to keep him out of the spotlight. They need to put duct tape across his mouth. Whatever to shut him the fuck up. Because all these people on YouTube talking PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5. All they're going to do from now on is, when is that motherfucker coming out? When is that motherfucker coming out? What can we expect? When can we expect? That's all they're going to do. It's W's. 3 W's all the time. www. And it's not www. It's when, what, where, how, why. All those motherfuckers. Okay? And it's going to get fucking annoying. Because they can't even see what they're doing to this generation. And this generation still hasn't even peaked yet. We still haven't even got the best from Sony that we should be getting from this generation. So, motherfuckers, calm the fuck down. Let them do what they doing. Let the developers do what they doing. Native 4K is still years off. Get that shit out your mind, thinking it's right around the corner. It's still years off. Anyway, deuces.